This video was sponsored by No Limit Gaming.
Hi guys, this is Richie from Team Yu-Gi Ohio, and I'm bringing my End of the World ritual deck. Alright, so starting off, running 3 of End of the World. Obviously this is the main focus of the deck. This ritual spell will get out both your big boss monsters, and these are your win con, is getting both these guys out. So each of them have bonus effects if you ritual summon them using only ritual monsters. So if you use only ritual monsters for him, you don't have to pay the 2,000 life points for his cost to destroy the entire board. And if you get her out with both the material or just with a ritual monster, you get to attack twice. So in combination, if you pop one card off of him, you do 200 damage for each and attack twice with this. That's game. That is your end goal. Getting there can be a little difficult, and that's what the rest of the deck is trying to help get to. So to kind of further that, I'm running a Gishki engine. So running 3 Gishki chain, it's basically pot of duality for a ritual monster or spell. If you don't hit them, you get to then place whatever you want on the top of your deck, so it kind of can fix a bad hand if you somehow survive a turn after a just cataclysmic failure of a first hand. Along with that, running 3 Gishki Zeal Gygus, it's an extra draw, and his removal effect's neat. You don't really get it off very often because most of the time you're using him as a level 10 ritual to summon out your Ruin or your Armageddon. Also running 3 Gishki Aquamir. It's basically just to get Zeal Gygus out, but the neat thing about it is it also can recycle the Zeal Gygus back to hand. So if you get a particularly good hand that you can get Zeal Gygus out, get an extra draw, use it for material for like Ruin or Armageddon, you can then use the Gishki to add this back to hand to then get the other one out. So it's a neat combo and an extra draw. So obviously, since this is a ritual deck, you're running the incantations. I run 2 of each of the main deck ones. Obviously, the most important are both Talismandra and Kandal, but I find myself actually going into Pencil and Book a lot just to kind of help. Again, when you have to use ritual monsters to summon out your ritual monsters, it helps to be able to kind of add one back with Pencil, or if you only end up with one End of the World, you can use Book to get that back. Obviously, it's a ritual deck, you need to run these. So along with the main deck monsters, running 3 Chalice Slime, you can ditch any card, add, or special summon a incantation, just helps kind of get things going. Also run 2 of the level 10 monster. It's more times than not you're using him to get to one of these. It does have an interesting interaction that comes up every now and then, that when it's on field, the incantation's effects are negated, which means you can actually summon into the extra deck. Almost never comes up, but there are certain cases that it's super useful just to get like some big link monster out. Running 3 of the incantation ritual, it's just another ritual spell that can summon out your boss monsters. It also has a neat kind of combo with Chalice Slime, because you can ditch it with Chalice Slime, and then it summons something from Chalice Slime. Then you can basically trade that out, ditch Chalice Slime, add this back to hand, summon another incantation. So if you open up both Chalice Slime and the incantation ritual, it's whatever 2 incantations you need. So it's for kind of just generic stuff. 3 Gale Dagra. You're trying to OTK in this deck, so more times than not, this is to get to that. Since it's not a once per turn, you can do it more than once, and this can just get you whatever you need, basically. Sending Herald, the Arclight, to add ritual monsters. The other kind of weird choice I have for this is Celestial Observatory. It almost makes no sense until you can consider you're almost always going to be able to get Talismandra out onto the board, so you can shuffle that back and get another 2 draws, and especially if you didn't summon the Talismandra from hand, you're just plussing. And this This deck can plus like a lot. It's kind of dumb when it goes off, but it can also be a tad clunky. For the extra deck, a lot of it really doesn't matter. The most important things are these. Optimally, like, I'd like to run these both at 3. These are just all I had, but to be honest, running more than 2 of that doesn't make a ton of sense, because if you're using that Gale Dogger to get 2 of these, you're not getting more life points to get more. So, you know, yeah, 2 of those, 2 of those. Gustav Max. This is a card that comes in handy if you're not able to get both your big ritual monsters with their extra material cost. It just kind of, if you didn't get 2 attacks off of like Ruin, this is an extra 2,000 damage. It comes up. It's not optimal, but it happens. I'm running one of these guys, and then the Spider Engine. It's another thing that almost never comes up, but you can bring him out to get to these, and in case you run into something with more than 3,000 attack that can't be destroyed by card effect, you basically need either the 4,000 or the Omni Banish that this has, or the Borg Banish. Again, it's one of those things where it'll very rarely come up, but it can if you're playing just very specific decks. For the rest of this is just mostly cards that I just had, and again, you're very rarely playing into the extra deck unless you are not able to get to your optimal board. Really, these could be any 5 cards. I happen to have them, so they're super useful sometimes, but not very often. But yeah, that's basically the deck. So cost-wise, this is, I want to say, if you don't want to just bling it out with the OTS Ruins and Oblivions, or yeah, Ruin and Demise, it's probably around 20 to 30. I want to say it's ridiculously cheap. Like all the ritual stuff, they're all rares and commons. So it just depends on, like, I guess what the prices of the incantations are at the moment. But with more reprints on the way, I'm pretty sure both Talismandra and Kandal should be a lot cheaper. Since you're only running 2, those are going to be like the most expensive cards in the deck minus the extra deck. But like I said, you can keep that to really whatever you want. The only one that I consistently go into is Gustav Max, and that's just because it just helps push that OTK. And that's the deck.